Today on Destination Polaris, we travel to Red River, New Mexico.
So this is the view from 11,000 feet.
Killer views, glacial lakes, and a sweet little town. We've set you up for a wild ride, Weezie style.
Red River's wild, you know, it's like the Old West here.
Destination Polaris starts right now.
Destination Polaris is presented by Rugged Radios, the authority in communications.
Welcome to Destination Polaris. We are in northern New Mexico, the town of Red River and the ski resort just behind me here. This is where you want to spend a week in the mountains.
You'll find Red River in northern New Mexico, just 45 minutes north of the town of Taos. In Red River, you can ski in the winter and off-road when the snow melts. Just so happens, the town got smacked with a pile of snow just days before we arrived. And like other remote mountain towns, Red River caters to the outdoors. Right in the middle of Main Street, you'll find Weezie's Wild Ride.
Tracy was my name before we came here full time, and now, now it's Weezie all the time.
People walk in the door and they'll look at her and they go, "You must be Weezie."
Weezie and her husband Chris set up shop for off-roaders.
We rent UTVs or self-guided tours. You can do half days or full days. We can send you on anything from the, pretty aggressive, steep, narrow trails to, we can give you a nice, easy ride if you don't want a rough trail.
We came to see Weezie and explore the Red River Valley.
The hidden gem is what it is.
Chris will tell you there's all sorts of great places to ride, but number one on everyone's list, Goose Lake.
That's where I'm going to take you guys.
We load up and leave right from Weezie's. The road to Goose Lake is 8 miles long and takes about an hour. But don't rush those 8 miles. If you do, you'll miss the history.
Goose Lake Trail, there's 17 or 18 old mining sites along it with cabins in several stages of, weather, disrepair.
You can feel the history of Red River, and that's based on mining. That's what built this town, mining in the ski area.
The Bunker Hill Mine is the main spot to stop.
So we passed what looks like a bunch of smaller mines or some old cabins or whatever on the way up here, but this here, obviously, is our biggest Bunker Hill.
It seems to be the one that's stood the time better and the best and most standing. It would look like one of the bigger mines that was along the trail.
And you can see big portion still up top there.
Right. They've moved a lot of the equipment and stuff that was in there, the rigging and all that stuff. They've moved it to town over the years, and they have it in a museum down there. So a lot of history up here.
Still go inside?
Yeah, you can still walk around inside.
Should we have a look? There we go, there we go.
Yeah.
Watch your step. Nice, look at this.
Back in the 30s and 40s, probably was the last of the real mining.
The walls are still pretty good.
Yeah.
But certainly the roof's seen better days. I wonder how they chose spots like this. A half-mile off the trail,
Right.
and then way back in here, and yeah, this looks like a good spot.
You can think about, you know, how hard it was to come up on razors, you know, climbing the rocks, and they came up on horseback and donkeys.
Chris, I think we're the last visitors of the year, so you wanna, I'll get the lights, you shut the door?
Yep, there we go.
Bunker Hill is about halfway up to Goose Lake.
It's rugged, it's some hard terrain to drive, but once you get to the top, here's the payoff.
This is Goose Lake, and that is
That's Gold Hill up there above you.
Gold Hill up there.
Yep.
And you promised to make sure there's gold there for us? Is that?
Oh, I think that's up to you. I tell people that I get half anything they find.
Glacier lakes aren't easy to come by machine. Usually you have to hike to those, so we're pretty lucky.
What can they do once they get here besides obviously check out the view?
Oh, they can hike to the top of Gold Hill. There's beautiful views on the other side to Towski Valley and clear down that side over there. A little bit of more snow and we wouldn't have made it up here today.
If you thought Goose Lake was cool, wait till you see where we're headed next. We're gonna take you to the highest peak in New Mexico, where you can drive to. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by Rugged Radios, the authority in communications. Polaris Lubricants, the only oil developed with and for your Polaris engine. And by Walton's, everything but the meat.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. We've been hanging with our new friends, Weezie's Wild Rides, right here in Red River, New Mexico. One of the best things about Weezie's is all of our rides leave right from here.
As long as we've been married, I've told her I was gonna get her face on a billboard. We've got a pretty good sign in front, so I did it.
Chris Green and his wife Weezie run Weezie's Wild Ride in Red River, New Mexico.
It's located at 105 East Main in Red River, New Mexico. The town's a mile long and 3 blocks wide, so you know, you park in the middle of town, you can walk anywhere.
You notice we don't have big chain restaurants or anything here. It's all local business owners trying to make it work and keep that vibe.
Family runs deep in Red River, and Weezie's is no different. Their daughter Emma helps run the shop.
Mom and I actually have the same middle name, so Louise. So technically she calls me Little Weezie, but that's not really my nickname. I actually live right behind the shop. So I wake up at 7:45 and I'm in the shop by 8 o'clock. So it's great.
You got time to brush your teeth?
15 minutes, I got time to brush my teeth and wash my face. It's great.
Together, the three opened up Weezie's for people who love to off-road.
Red River has trails that we can fit the person with the trail, the kind of adventure that they're looking for on what scale.
Our ride today, not hard, but it will take us to the top of the highest point in New Mexico that you can drive to.
It's 11,240 feet.
All right, Chris, we're in. Show us the way. From Red River to Greenie Peak and back is 24 miles. It's a fairly easy ride and offers killer views of the valley. Obviously, that's the Red River Ski Resort right there.
That is Red River Ski Resort.
But above that, what else am I looking at?
The backside of Gold Hill, which is the other side on the bottom of it, is Goose Lake.
Way over there.
Way over there.
There are higher peaks.
There's higher peaks, but this is the highest peak you can drive to.
What's the exact up here?
11,240 feet.
I can feel it.
Yeah. It's a little colder up here than it was in town.
You cold?
Oh, it's a little chilly.
You look cold.
A little cold.
I like it, man. I like it. Anytime we can get really, really up high on these rides, it's always the best. Take a selfie or two, and then drop down the backside of the peak into Midnight Meadows. The Meadows is the spot to look for deer, moose, and elk. We didn't happen to see any on our ride, so we headed to our final stop of the day, Cabresto Lake. Well, you brought me all the way down here to Cabresto Lake. What now?
You're gonna go swimming, right?
Let's see here. Nope. I feel like you've been here a few times.
Yes.
How many, you think?
Probably 2 dozen.
2 dozen. Okay,
Maybe.
so this is a good spot to come.
I like it here.
Emma's been here a ton, but for local dealers like Mark, this is his first time.
That's true. I've heard a lot about it. I've got customers that have places up here and have been here from the Queston Red River area, and they talk about it all the time.
Mark's dealership is less than an hour away, and they've been to Red River many, many times, but even locals like Mark can admit there's always somewhere new to go.
We lived here all our lives and haven't had or taken the opportunity to see everything we have. When you ride out here anywhere in Colorado, New Mexico, it's just the beauty of the country. You're in the Rocky Mountains, and it's just being up in these hills and up on the Continental Divide, and it's just some of the most beautiful country you can be in.
During the summer, the lake is packed with hikers and people out on the water. For us, it's just a place to grab lunch.
Thank you, sir.
You got a drink?
Steak and lobster?
Yeah, steak and lobster.
Steak and lobster. These guys are the best.
Grab a bite yourself and kick back because we've got more fun stuff to show you. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by HCR Racing, passion-driven, American-made. And by Polaris Adventures, adventure everywhere.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. We're in Red River, New Mexico, hanging with the folks from Weezie's Wild Ride.
Everybody's just a little bit kooky, and we love it. We fit in pretty good.
I couldn't argue with that. Everyone we've met is pretty cool.
For a town of 450 full-time residents, you know, we're really a close-knit little town.
We've had a blast so far, and today we go back in time for a ride over the old pass.
You know, the original road into Red River, and that gives you great views up over of Wheeler Peak and back into the upper valley.
The original road was built back in the 30s.
We get a lot of people that have been coming to Red River since they were a kid, and now they're bringing their grandkids and great-grandkids up here, and they want to take their families up and show them how they came and tell them stories of coming over the old pass back when in their dad's 49 Mercury or whatever, you know, however they got to Red River back in the day.
That must have been some trip, because this is one bumpy trail.
My favorite, it's over on Old Red River Pass. There's a spot while you're driving. It's single track, and you're coming around the edge of the mountain, and it's just a straight drop down into the canyon, and then you have a great view of Wheeler Peak. It's beautiful.
We reached the top of the road, which offered the best views of Red River.
So Chris, the only thing I know from right here, this town is there.
That's where it's at.
Everything else, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we can still see, you know, we got the view of Wheeler Peak up there and Gold Hill.
Beyond the town, what are we looking at past it there?
Latier Peaks, and off that way, the backside of the old Millennium Mine over there.
So tell me about the road we were just on.
It's the old pass. It's the original road into town that was finished back in the 30s. They used it until they built the new pass in somewhere in the mid-60s.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's a place where you can come hang out, ride up, chill, hang with the boys.
There's quite a few people that they don't come up here. You know, they stay in town, and that's just it. If you don't get out and ride the trails or hike and get out and enjoy it, then you don't see this.
It's been a neat little canyon, nice place to come and ride, and excellent.
I've never ridden one of these before. This has been an exciting experience.
The best is when you get people that have never done it before, and they're like, we're coming back, we're gonna buy one, this is the best thing we've ever done. So that's pretty cool.
If you never ride the trails, there's so much that you don't see. You know, you never see any of that, and you never would see any of it if you don't get out and ride the trails.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by Aluma Trailers, ready to ride when you are. And by Cormark Metals, where technology and creativity meet.
Welcome back to DP. We just spent 3 days riding around Red River, New Mexico, and couldn't have asked for a better time.
You can ride hard for a good, 2 or 3 days and not see it all.
We started off the trip at Goose Lake.
So Goose Lake is 8 miles, basically straight up.
There are people that make trips to town specifically just to go up to Goose Lake.
It's an experience, it's spiritual up here almost. It has its own climate, it has its own feel.
Just looking at the mountain, it was beautiful. Just going and admiring.
Unlike any other place here, I think. I think it's unique.
From Goose Lake to Cabresto Lake, and everywhere in between, you can feel the history.
It's amazing just to think, like back there were more people living back there in those mines than there are in Red River on the busiest day during the winter. There were bars, there were grocery stores. A crazy thought. It's so far away from town. Who would have ever thought to go back there?
I really enjoy reading the history and being out in it, and I can live it, you know, I can see it.
Just about everything we've seen and done, you can cover off in just a few dozen miles.
You know, the main loop of that trail is about 35 miles, but there's, you know, that many 35 miles or better of trails off inside of that loop that you can explore and get you back in the spots.
Just make sure you bring Tracy along for the ride. Or is it Weezie?
Yeah, everybody knows me by both names, really, in town. There's people coming from everywhere. They're all having a good time. They're all having fun. Nobody's in a bad mood. We're just here to have an adventure and enjoy.